Yeah. Big dreams. All right. You already know what's going on, guys. It's your boy Silent Moon coming at y'all with another podcast. This is gonna be episode podcast. Wait, what? That didn't make sense. Okay, but this is episode number 46, I believe. Yes, 46. 46. I don't want to say like Lilo and Stitch because I already said that for like every other episode that starts with a 6. But on this one, it's gonna be just me. Due to some complications, I just kind of felt like fuck it, I'll just record this one by myself, so that way everything can be fulfilled the way it's supposed to be fulfilled and other things of that nature. So hope you guys are all having a great time. I am recording this pretty late, so if I sound sleepy, I do apologize, but at the time that you're listening, it's Friday, because at the time you're gonna be listening to this, it's gonna be Friday. If you're not a loyal subscriber, but if you watch or listen to the podcast the day they release, then it'll be on a Friday. But if that's not the case, then you will more than likely be watching it or listening to it on a different day of the week, depending on your schedule and things like that. But enough of all that bullshit. Let's get right into the bullshit, into the business. The smackaroonies. All right, so after some long ass speculation, the iPhone 11 has finally been confirmed. Wow. Who would have fucking knew? Honestly, who would have known? I'm pretty sure that it was gonna be confirmed regardless, because they always release a new phone every 6 months. They come out in October or September. It's one of those months. It's something like that, but it's in the fall of every year. So it's roughly every 6 months or a year, something like that. So, but the iPhone 11 has been confirmed, and the design that has been leaked for it is also the confirmed design. So for everybody that has seen it already, you already know what the iPhone 11 looks like. But for those that have not seen it yet, y'all live under a fucking rock. Where the hell have y'all been? Head ass. But anyways, so the iPhone 11 is gonna have 3 cameras as opposed to the normal 2 cameras, the 2 rear cameras and the 1 front-facing camera. I don't know how many cameras are gonna be in the front of the phone. I would assume 2, since the back is gonna have 3. But the way they have them laid out, they kind of have them laid out in a triangular position with the point facing off to the right or the left, depending on the way you're looking at the phone. And because of that, they kind of had to do this really big, squared off, lens for the cameras. And to me, I don't mind the design of it being a square. But what I do mind is rather the size of it. It is fucking huge. It looks like a whole god-dong spider eye. And the more average iPhone users that have looked at this design, they automatically don't fucking like it because it's so huge. The camera lens is so huge, and we understand why, because there's 3 freaking cameras. But I don't know. Me personally, they could have done some a little bit different to make the layout a little more pleasing to the eye, kind of like how Samsung did with their S10s. They also have 3 cameras, but they're all laid out horizontally, so that way it's just one long strip and not just one huge squared off eye that looks like a spider eye. But who knows? Because, obviously we're not the developers of the iPhone 11, so we don't know the layout of the internals and all that stuff, or because maybe they couldn't. Maybe they really tried to look at all the options and that was their best option. But then again, the majority of the time, and it's always been like this for years, ever since the first iPhone, the iPhone camera is usually on the top left or the top right, depending on where you're looking at the phone. So it's usually in the corner of the phone, and that's usually where it's been, and it doesn't seem like that's going to change, unlike Samsung, where Every couple times they'll switch the camera placement, but typically the Samsung camera is placed in the top center of the phone, which in my opinion makes sense as well. But hopefully, Apple as a business, they can do what they got to do to project the sales that they got to do, because the iPhone 10, the 10 series in general, it didn't do so hot. I know this. I'm pretty sure all of y'all know this, because Apple. I'm not too sure if they were the first, but they were definitely one of the first companies to shell out a $1,000 smartphone at the minimum price, not the top of the line specced out price. No, that shit is the minimum price tag, and it's like, holy shit, that's a lot for a fucking phone. But you gotta think shit of like inflation. But hopefully they do well, because like I said, iPhone 10, 10s, no 10s and 10s Max didn't do so hot. Neither did the 10R. But ironically enough, although everybody was talking shit about the iPhone 10R with the shitty DPI and things like that, the screen being 720p, that actually accumulated over 43% of Apple's marketing sales for the third quarter of the year. I don't remember where I got that information from. It was definitely on a website for sure, but shout out to those people. Actually no. It was indeed off a website, but I got this information from Lewis off Unbox Therapy. So shout out to homeboy Lewis for shelling out that information in that video during his podcast on Lou Later, which y'all should check out, by the way. But anyways, back to the iPhone 11. So on top of that, so the iPhone 11 is set to release in fall of 2018. It's also gonna be one of the last iPhones to carry the iconic Lightning port. That might be good for some of you, but I'm pretty sure for the average consumer that is fucking terrible, because everybody's freaking car chargers have the goddamn iPhone cable and all the portable batteries and all that bullshit. But for someone like me, even though I don't use an iPhone, but just in general as a technical person, I'm pretty sure they are going to switch over from Lightning over to USB-C, which in my opinion is way better. It's more durable, and it's also reversible just like the Lightning port, so they won't be losing that form factor. And that also, because of the USB-C port, that's also going to connect along with their MacBooks, because their MacBooks have USB Type-C, the iPad Pros have USB Type-C, and shit like that. And the new Apple Pencil, you don't have to plug it in anymore with the Lightning port, so they already got rid of that option. So now all you'll need eventually, assuming you guys are going to get the new iPhone 11, is just one Lightning. No, not one Lightning, because they're getting rid of it. One USB Type-C port, which to me, it's not a bad trade-off. USB Type-C is better anyway. You get better transfer speeds. It also charges faster than the Lightning port, because the Lightning port, it's okay at charging, but transfer speed-wise, even though iPhone people don't really use it for the transferring speeds, but if they were to, they'd only be getting 2.0 speeds, and we're already at 3.0, 3.1, and shit, we're probably at 4.0 already, or something like that, something ridiculously stupid quick that our things can't even comprehend yet. But yeah, so the iPhone 11 is gonna be one of the last iPhones to carry the Lightning port. So if that is true, whoever uses the iPad Pro or the newer MacBook Pros, you might want to wait until the iPhone 12 when they get rid of it, if that's if that is to be true, which who knows. But also, it's also going to be equipped with the A13 chip, because every newer version of the iPhone, they try to incorporate a faster processor so they can get better speeds, better performance, things of all that jazz, so you can do all your things and not have to worry about it stuttering, or as people call it, buffering and stuff like that. So we do expect the new iPhone 11 to be faster. because that's typically what you would want in the newer phone. But in the terms of how much faster, that I do not know. But usually it lies it based on Apple's pattern on their processing innovation. It's usually anywhere from 15 to 20%. So it's probably going to be along those lines. But one thing that I do find kind of odd is, although the iPhone 11 is going to be the new phone, it's going to have 3 cameras, and it's going to be the last phone with Lightning, and it's going to have the A13 chip. It's going to have the same screen resolution as the iPhone XS and the XS Max, assuming that they do an 11s and an 11s Max or whatever. Which to me I find kind of weird because, usually, my bad, sorry for the burp. Usually, the screen is one of the things that, every company does whenever they try to make a phone better. It's usually in every aspect, but who knows? I find that kind of weird, but it definitely seems that they're concentrating more on the camera, since there are going to be 3 cameras and it's going to have the big bezel. Not the bezel, but it's going to have the big bump and things like that. So maybe that's the reason why. But even then, if that were to be true, I personally don't think it's worth the money to shell out $1,000. I'm pretty sure the starting price is going to be a bit higher, just to have a third camera on your phone and still have the same screen resolution and things of that nature. But who knows, they might incorporate a bigger battery, and who knows. This is all just stuff that we won't really know until they release the information officially, and we'll know what's going on. Also, another thing I do want to talk about, which is not tech related, but it's gaming related. Yesterday, at the time that I'm recording this, it came out yesterday. But at the time you might be listening, it came out 2 days ago, 3 days ago, maybe a month ago if you're that late into the podcast. The GTA 5 is finally relevant again because they brought out what everybody wanted, the fucking casinos, which is fucking amazing. The casino is like one of the best DLCs they came out with in like forever. So essentially the casino jazz is basically what it was in San Andreas. You go into the casino, there's tables, they got roulette, they got 3-card Monte. What else do they have? They have blackjack, the typical casino card games and things like that. They also have slot machines, which they also had over on GTA San Andreas, so that's a nice addition. So if you have GTA and you're a casino guy, I would suggest, take a look into the casino, see if you like it, see if you don't. I personally like it, but since I am kind of competitive with casinos, well, just gaming in general, the casino does tend to piss me off sometimes when things don't go my way, especially for blackjack, because blackjack is definitely where I have spent most of my time so far, and the slot machines as well. But for the most part, it's usually blackjack because, in my personal opinion, blackjack is that game where it's more skill based than it is luck. Obviously there is still a luck factor because you're essentially taking a risk when you try to get closer to 21 than the person that's dealing and whatnot. So that's the one that I mainly play. There's also 3-card poker, but I've never played it, so I might play it. I'm not too sure because I don't want to lose chips, which the chip system is also a very clever idea. But before we get into that chip stuff, yeah, and the slot machines is also another cool thing. The slot machines are actually very good. There's a bunch of different machines, and it gives you different quantities and things like that. So if you want to spend a lot of money, you can get on the high roller machines, but if you don't, you can just get on the normal machines and bet your little cash, your little chips or whatever. And that's also the other thing. You can win quite a bit, but in order to actually win a lot and make gambling in the casino a lot more worth it, is you have to buy I think it was called it's not a condo, it's something. You have to buy this no, it's a penthouse. You have to buy a penthouse. The minimum penthouse starts at 1.5 mil, but if you want to be visually aesthetically pleasing or whatever to the all your homies and whatnot, you can shell out all your guap and spend like 6.5 mil, and I think that's minimum pricing. You could probably upgrade it and make it look different and things like that. So you're spending at least you have to spend at least 1.5 mil to get the penthouse and be able to participate in the high roller stuff and be able to make the real amount of chips or the real amount of quote unquote money that you want to go for. That would then make it worth it. And then there's also a Ferris wheel that you can spin once a week, and you can get some dope stuff. You can get some RP if you're a really low level, but it's 2019 at this point. If you're not at least like level 100, it's kind of like, what the fuck, but who knows? I mean, not everybody has the same situation in their life. So you can get a shit ton of RP, you can get a shit ton of chips, you can get money. There's like a mystery thing, so you can get like some random stuff. You can get like some clothes, or you can get money, or like a random amount of money. And there's even a car, but on the Ferris wheel there's 20 slots, and only one of the slots has the car. So you have a 1 in 20 chance to actually get the car. So, but who knows? You might get lucky and hit it on your first try, because I've been looking at videos about the GTA 5 casino, and luckily some people have gotten super duper lucky and they would hit it on the first try. And it's ridiculous because it's like, holy shit, like when I hit it the first try, I got like 50,000 RP, and I was like, bro, I'm like literally level 177. I do not need this RP. This is ridiculous. But today when I rolled it, I got 25k chips, which was a very kind of a Grand Theft Auto for them to do that. But yes, it works just like a normal casino though. There's like a little there's a receptionist, and at the receptionist you can trade money for chips. But the way it works on here is every dollar translates to 1 chip. So every dollar will go into chips. So if you get 10 chips, it's $10. 20,000 chips, $20,000, and so on and so forth. You guys can do the math. Y'all know how to count, right? Y'all know how to convert, right? Okay, yeah, y'all good. But yeah, the casino's very cool, and they brought back the horse racing. Bro, the horse racing is fucking live. Even though it's very luck based, I still like to hit that race every now and then, because it reminds me a lot of San Andreas. Because back when I used to play San Andreas a lot, that's where I would spend a good portion of the time, because gotta get that guap, you feel me? Them San Andreas missions didn't give you money like that, you feel me? And then you spend it on ammo and spray paints and buying houses and shit like that. You're eventually gonna lose some money and things of that nature. But yeah, so if you have GTA 5, make sure you update it. And once you get it updated, you should totally check out the casino. See if you like it, see if you don't. See what games you feel like you can benefit more from. Because like I said, for me, it's slot machines and blackjack. Mainly blackjack though, but who knows? For you, it might be the roulette table. For some others, it might be the 3-card poker table. For some, it might even be the horse betting shit. So who knows? I would go try it out. See what works for you. And if the casino doesn't work for you at all, then just don't do it. And then also, you also can convert your chips into money, and it'll do the same thing. Every chip converts to $1. So if you have 10,000 chips, $10,000, 100,000 chips, $100,000, so on and so forth. But yeah, that's gonna be all the time that I got today. Since it is just me, I only really had 2 topics to talk about, and I pretty much talked about both of them. So the podcast is going to be super duper short this one, but hopefully the next week I can get all the homies together so that way we can hit a proper podcast. But hope you guys enjoyed it. One thing I do want to say is due to some complications and stuff like that, I am considering changing when the podcast will be up, because usually it's every Monday, but I might switch it over to where it might come out every Wednesday or maybe every Thursday. I'm not too sure yet. I gotta check my schedule, see how that's going, and then I also gotta check all the other factors that come into play when gathering with your peoples and recording and stuff like that. But yeah, I apologize for the podcast being so short since it was just me, but hopefully next week we can get everybody together. So hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Make sure you guys leave a like if you're watching on YouTube, or a dislike if you didn't fucking like it, because we gotta have the feedback. We gotta see what we can do to improve the podcast as a whole, you feel me? But yeah, so make sure that you do all that if you're watching on YouTube. So subscribe on top of liking or disliking. And if you don't watch us through YouTube and you're actually listening to us on a podcasting app, shouts out to you people. Make sure you guys are subscribed to that as well. We're up on iTunes, we're up on Player FM. We're not up on Spotify yet. I should probably check into that, see what I gotta do to get it up on Spotify. Google, we're not up there because the way our podcasts are formatted, ours are formatted for video, and Google only does audio, which is very unfortunate, but hopefully they can support video one day, or maybe I can find a way to convert all the video podcasting into strictly just audio, so that way we can get on the Google platform. And we're also more than likely on third-party podcasting apps, such as Player FM. I would consider that a third-party app, and things of that nature. And make sure you also follow us on Twitter at HandsDownPod. Make sure you follow my homeboy Jose, aka Wild Panther, at WildPanther37. Make sure you follow me at Silent Moon. And yeah, that's all I got for today. Hope you guys enjoy the podcast, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.